And I don't know where they got the budget for that.
The same place they get their budget for everything, like straight out of Ryan Murphy's ass.
Hello and welcome to Glee on the Rocks. This is the podcast where we break down the highs and lows of the writing, the music, and the cultural impact of a TV show that ran 6 seasons and ended 5 years ago. I am Emily.
I'm Mandy.
And this week we have back returning with us Ambre, who guested on our Voices of Glee episode, a month back, 2 months back?
Yeah, something like that. Hi.
Time means nothing anymore.
It truly does that.
Yes, so welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
You know, what else are we doing during this time? Today we are talking about season 3, episode 11, Michael. And this is the Michael Jackson tribute episode of sorts. The quick rundown is the rivalry between New Directions and the Warblers intensifies en route to national or regionals. And Kurt and Rachel receive news about NYADA. This episode was written by Alfonso Gomez-Reyon and written by Ryan Murphy. So we got another tribute episode.
How long has it been since one of those?
I don't know, half a season, maybe? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, there was Madonna, there was Britney. I feel like I'm forgetting something already.
The tribute episodes are always so, like...
Lady Gaga.
Like, hit or miss, but in a really, like, subjective way. I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan, even in terms of music. Like, strictly speaking music. So
Is that, like, a personal choice, or was that just, like, a bad upbringing?
I'm going to say bad upbringing because I didn't actually hear a lot of Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a complicated legacy.
Yeah.
But the music's good. I think one quick thing to say about this episode is that because there are 9 songs, there's not a lot of plot or dialogue.
Yeah. It's pretty much all music, yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty much all music because it starts out, like, I don't know, 2 sentences in with Blaine just deciding to sing in the hallways.
Which, like, I actually don't mind that. I kind of enjoy when an episode just opens on a song.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of reminds me that this is a fun musical show before anyone has a chance to speak and ruin it for me.
Yes. The plot as it is that the ladies of the Trouble Tones are a little pissed off that they didn't get to do Michael Jackson properly. So everyone else is like, cool, we're going to do it again. Because Glee is nothing but repetitive in its plot points. But, like, I can't hate on Blaine's yellow pants.
You are a fan of the yellow pants, aren't you?
I am. I mean, I was, but now it's, like, nostalgic. Like, oh, yeah.
That's a firm more for you. But,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun number, and it feels like one of those numbers where all the cast gets to play out their childhood and teenage fantasies of dancing in front of a mirror. Only now the mirror is like a 30-foot light wall on a soundstage. And I don't know where they got the budget for that.
The same place they get their budget for everything, like straight out of Ryan Murphy's ass.
Yep. I mean, they're like no longer selling Laffy Taffy, but now they can have a light wall that they can program names and choreography to.
I mean, in any other, like, episode, it would actually be fun to, like, theorize that Sam just did that. But since his plot has been poverty and... I don't know. I feel like he'd be a little more financially responsible than to spend his money on that.
It's for Mercedes, though.
I mean, the intention would be admirable, but the execution would be like, no, Sam, college is the thing.
I don't know that Sam has college aspirations. I don't know. I mean, we don't... Is he a senior this year?
No, he's not.
Okay. I'm glad you know what's going on. we're generally like that episode that we just watched. What happened? What were we? There was something going on. I don't know. How should we structure this? So, they're going up to regionals. What did I say before? Regionals, and it's I guess now the New Directions versus the Warblers, who instead of being friends who come to watch the West Side Story for their buddies, now hate them. It's kind of a leap that, well, one, that Sebastian is the captain of the Warblers when the Warblers are run by committee.
Yes.
So that's a plot hole. That's just retconning or something, or
yeah, I think
who knows? Yeah, like, that was kind of the point, was that they're a committee and a gavel and they vote.
And the committee members are still on the Warblers now, but Sebastian is somehow the captain.
Yeah, and he's the newest.
Yeah.
Wes was certainly there longer. And Trent.
So was Trent, yum.
Yes, poor Trent.
I mean, Trent deserved it if anyone was going to be leader.
Poor dude. I mean, I did love the lima bean scene of Sebastian just popping up out of nowhere. Because again, if you think about where Lima, Ohio is and where Westerville is, why the fuck is Sebastian hanging out at the lima bean? If only to flirt with Blaine. Which I get. It's cool. I understand. And I appreciate a character. I think I said this before, but a character who's just so brazen. Just, hello, Blaine. Hello, everyone else. It's funny and snarky, and it's nice to have that kind of a foil to these some of these more saccharine characters.
I mean, it's definitely funny, and it definitely makes scenes with Sebastian in them more fun to watch.
Yep. And that Blaine and Sebastian are apparently friendly enough to talk about set lists.
Yeah.
Get some good jealousy going in there. I like it.
I mean, the jealousy, obviously worked for a Klaine thing, but also, like, everyone else, like, what the fuck, Blaine?
Yeah.
They had some points.
They did have a good point that why is one of their team members telling another team member all of their dirty secrets. Yeah, they're not wrong.
And yet also it's still very Blaine that someone would like compliment him and he would just start enthusiastically gushing all of their secrets.
Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, nice pants. Where'd you get those? Well, let me tell you our entire set list.
I mean, I feel like that's exactly how Kurt won him over. Let me stare at you with these adoring eyes. Oh, wait, you love me? Oh.
Perfect. Done. Just check that one right off the list. We do, though, get Santana stepping up for Blaine. Well, for the rest of the Warbler, or the rest of the New Directions, really. And getting up in Sebastian's face, which will later come to fruition with the lovely and perfect duet of Smooth Criminal.
Yes.
Which we can get to.
Favorite duet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we can talk about it now and then. We can really just come back to it a couple times.
I mean, we can like talk about how much the song deserves worship, and then we can also talk about the scene.
Yes, the song deserves worship. One, just for being great, and then to actually, I don't remember if there was any like to do over the arrangement of the song, if they had stolen it or if they actually gave credit to the two cellos guys. I can't remember how that went down, but it's such a cool arrangement for Glee to do, because usually they make songs big and bright and in your face, and this time they took it down to the cellos. Yeah. And they didn't try to copy the choreography or the video, which when I heard they were doing a Michael episode back in the day, I don't know about you guys, but one of my first fears was like, are you just gonna redo all of the videos? And they did a little bit with like the black or white screen where they like morph into each other, and the bad music video in the parking garage that suddenly exists.
I mean, that's another point that totally flew over my head because I haven't seen any of the music videos.
Oh,
I had a feeling with the black or white one that they were like doing like an homage to the actual video, but the rest of them, no, I actually didn't know that. I just thought,
Mandy.
oh yeah, they want to show off in underground garage. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think maybe we need an episode of just showing you the best Michael Jackson videos. Oh boy. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Like the bad music video was set in like subway turnstiles. It's actually off one of the subway stops in Brooklyn. Anyway, I'm baffled. I had a tape, like a VHS tape of Moonwalker. Can't talk to you right now.
And Emily thought that we would fall to pieces over pizza toppings.
Joe Pesci is in it. In the Moonwalker like saga, Joe Pesci is like a bad guy in it.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. Mandy. I mean, I can't.
You're literally speechless. I'm a little bit delighted by that. I probably shouldn't be.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna order a pineapple pizza afterwards, and we'll be fine. And no other toppings, just pineapple.
Pineapple pizza and read some Blaine.
Yes. Yep. That's gonna be the rest of my night. Well, great. I guess that's the end of this podcast, and it was nice to talk to you guys.
Did I just cancel the rest of the podcast because you need to cancel me that badly?
I think you might have. Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as we're on the music videos, so the Glee Club has decided they need to like get back at the Warblers, and like Finn saying Michael Jackson would fight back against the haters. Like, well, with music, not with like a street fight, but cool. Or like lawyers. Blaine saying that Michael would take it to the streets, I think, is adorable. Because Blaine is such a badass all of a sudden. And so the Glee Club meets up. Well, first, Blaine and Santana, who are an underrepresented duo.
They really are.
They're so pretty. And they're a little sassy. They look good in hoodies.
I mean, like, NYADA definitely, in every scene of this episode she's in, like, totally stole it from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really gave her the good costumes.
Yes, they did.
And they, as you do in these situations, they challenge the Warblers to a dance-off, a sing-off.
Yeah.
Some sort of battle royale in a parking garage, which I feel like is one of the dumbest, best performances.
Yeah.
And again, Mandy, you're not going to know. In the bad video, there is like, because the bad video is also a reference to, what is it? Is it The Outsiders? And like the Sharks and the Jets. So like, they're doing like, they do these like battle dances with like a knife and they tie their hands together and they're like, but also singing and dancing. So the weird dance moves where they're like jumping and slapping the ground, that it makes sense. But with their little cherubic baby faces, it's none of them are bad.
I mean, what is seriously amusing me right now is that I did not question that was just choreography Glee did.
I mean, it is. It's just, a little referential.
Yeah.
I did feel like there was not enough homoeroticism between Blaine and Sebastian for this being kind of about their tiff over Kurt.
I was about to say, I think you mispronounced Kurt, but I see where you were going there.
Yeah, no, like this needed a little more of them face to, like dueling it out over Kurt, because that's kind of what it's about. I still, I don't know if it's just me because I'm a Sebastian apologizer, I guess. I still don't think that the rock salt was like in character for any of them. Maybe like
I mean, definitely not the other ones. Like at this point, we don't really know enough about Sebastian to redeem him that much. At least I don't, because I'm not quite the Sebastian apologist.
I like Sebastian too, like a lot.
yes.
My favorite non-canon ship is Sebastian and Santana.
Nice.
Because they have such good chemistry and Smooth Criminal. That's all it took for me.
I was gonna say, so Smooth Criminal is really just for you.
It's really just for me.
I love it.
I mean, like I could get behind that on the power of strength of that song alone.
That song, but I don't think Sebastian would have done it either. It just doesn't seem very Warblerly.
It's not. No, it is not in Warbler tradition.
I mean, like, the only way that really makes sense is if, like, Sebastian actually is either just, like, blackmailing the fuck out of all the rest of them or staged a total, like, coup and, like, overturned the entire council.
Right.
And go rogue.
Right. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine that the rest of the Warblers knew that there was something in the slushy and agreed to it. But I still even have a hard time thinking, like, a 17-year-old prep school kid is going to put. Yeah.
And I see what you mean when you said that there needs to be more homoeroticism between them. Because it does seem a little bit of an overreaction to want to hurt Kurt that badly over Blaine.
Yeah. Like, it's not just trading insults. Like, he was going to physically harm Kurt over some snide comments at a coffee shop.
Right. It's a little much.
It's a little intense. It's really more of like a thing Rachel might do to send someone to a crack house, maybe. Which is maybe also an overreaction from a character in this show. I did think that the red slushy trailing on the ground was a nice like cinematography look because it did really kind of look like blood.
Yes, it did.
So I will give them credit for that. I just think it's funny that this is how they decided to write Darren out of half of an episode, and not just that he like had homework.
Most characters go easily half an episode without being seen.
Right.
I mean, poor Mike Chang, those entire episodes.
Yeah, Mike Chang could have had a kidney transplant in this episode, and it wouldn't have mattered for how much screen time he gets. And Blaine needed to have eye surgery so Darren could do 3 days on Broadway. In my defense, I went and saw it.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other story. That's another day. So where should we stick on the Klaine? Should we stick on Klaine because, you know, Kurt is rightfully upset about this. And for once, the group is actually kind of like rallying around Blaine, which makes sense. I would have been a little pissed off if they were like, "Oh, he's fine."
Definitely, but also like, I think I made a note about this. Wait, let me check one of my 5 notes. Yeah. So they have a 0 tolerance policy, and everyone in the Glee Club is, you know, upset and wanting to stick around him. But like when Kurt was getting bullied, they were just like, he's going to another school. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like really, where was that attitude when Kurt was getting, you know,
like thrown into a locker?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But like whatever. I mean, to be kind, you could say it's character growth, and they learned something.
Sure, and they probably don't want to be not expelled, but like kept from going to regionals for murdering another Glee Club.
I mean, I guess that too. I mean, I don't think Santana would care, but you know.
No. Auntie Snicks. It was nice to see that that return. We had Blaine in his PJs in bed.
Yeah.
I think that's a little later in the episode though, right? I took notes based on like, this is Klaine, this is Rachel and Quinn, this is blah blah blah. So I did. Oh, well, I did like. So for once, we got some like Blaine Santana a little bit, and we got some Santana Sebastian, and here we also got a little Santana Kurt of her kind of like going to talk to him and really agreeing to take the high road and calling him the criminal chipmunk, which I thought was so good. But it was nice to see some characters who don't always interact actually get to interact.
Yeah, I mean, it was really refreshing to get to see that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it helps that, like, not to gush about NYADA again, but she does have chemistry with, like, everyone.
She does. I mean, we can just roll right into the whole scene of Smooth Criminal, because her chemistry with the cello guys and the chairs and Grant, like it's all there. She taped it to her underboob.
Her underboob.
That line.
Nobody wrote a song about it.
I know. I just love that line so much. And the way just she like completely like calls back to it multiple times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She was really proud of that, and she should be. But it's such a good duet. Like the camera movement is interesting, and the set is kind of cool, and you got the two cello guys just destroying their strings.
Santana's outfit was perfect too. It was really good. It was a really good reference to that video, the Michael Jackson video, without being an exact copy.
Oh, was it a reference?
It was a reference. He's in an all-white suit with a hat.
Yeah. So Mandy, in the Smooth Criminal video, Michael Jackson is wearing a white suit with a white fedora.
Oh, actually, I did know that from that one documentary we won't talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well, so they never do. They do like a little bit of the lean from the Smooth Criminal video in "Wanna Be Starting Something" in the beginning. They do that kind of lean over, but like they can't quite do the full lean because it defies physics. Or their shoes were nailed to the ground. Who knows? We'll never know. But it would have been too much. It definitely would have been too much to like recreate a pool hall and have them like really redoing the video. Would have been intense.
Yeah.
And so I thought this kind of like walking around each other and back and forth and moving the chairs was very evocative without needing the expense of a whole other set.
Yeah.
Evocative is a really good word for that whole like song.
Thank you. It was on my word of the day calendar today. It wasn't. I don't have those. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now. I don't know when Christmas is, but that's what I'm getting you.
So another, one of the other big storylines is Quinn being a grown-up and getting early admission to Yale.
So proud of Quinn.
Good for her. It took her a little time, and it was maybe probably a quick jump from Crazy Quinn of the first 2 seasons to mature, capable adult, but by God, she got there.
She was still crazy in the beginning of season 3.
Yeah.
Wasn't she pink-haired Quinn in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
She's still crazy. It was a big jump, but she got there. If there's any character I don't mind, like, having that quick jump, it's Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, she went through enough shit to earn it.
Right?
Though I do wonder if this was to try and give Quinn a nicer storyline, or like because Ryan already knew he wanted to write her out.
Probably because he knew you wanted to write her out.
Yeah. That would be such an interesting thing to figure out in the annals of Glee history, is like, what the fuck happened between Ryan Murphy and Diana? What went down?
Because didn't he say in an interview that he hated the way Diana played Quinn because she made her human? That stuck with me. I'm like, how can you hate her for making on paper, everyone should hate Quinn. Like, on paper, you should hate Quinn. She's white, she's thin, she's blonde, like, she's rich, she's a Republican. We know Quinn's family is Republican.
Mm-hmm.
You should hate Quinn, but Diana really brought a human nature to Quinn, and you just loved her. And I was like, why would you hate her for doing a good job with your character?
Yeah, really. I mean, and I wonder if it had something to do with, like, by that point, I mean, Rachel's character, like, obviously had a ton of fans, and Leah had a ton of fans, but was also already a little bit of a caricature in, like, media references to Rachel Berry.
Mm.
Because, like, it was a very, I don't know, specific character type.
Yeah. Well, and, like, doesn't Quinn not really show up in the tribute to Corey down the line?
She wasn't there. No, she wasn't.
Yeah. And yeah. I don't remember when. I'd have to, like, hunt it down, but you're right. He did say something about that Diana ruined Quinn. Like, no. she made her watchable. But maybe you're right. Like, maybe he wanted a character who wasn't Leah to hate, but we still all kind of hated Rachel anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when an actor has charisma and is likable, it comes across.
Yeah.
That's true.
And, like, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Diana.
No.
At the very least, it seemed like she stayed in her own lane in terms of, you know, cast drama and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that had
being bohemian out in the world.
Yeah.
Just lives in her own bubble.
Yep. Which is maybe like the way to survive a show like Glee, where either you're in the center or you're just like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna learn my lines, I'm gonna learn my songs, and I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Get that paycheck.
She was like, I am pretty enough that I don't need to do anything else. I'm getting out of here.
Correct.
She is correct. Yeah.
So I can't remember what else we were talking about, but I was gonna say she did have a solo in the episode.
She did. She sang that other song. Oh, Never Can Say Goodbye.
Yeah.
Which I liked because it was kind of the reminder of, like, look how Quinn's storylines have just revolved around different male club members.
Yeah.
Of like, God, these dating pools, this is incestuous. Like, Jesus, branch out. But it was a nice, sweet song. Her voice doesn't lend itself to, I think, a lot of Michael Jackson, so it was nice that they found something that fit her, and then she got to look stunning in that dress.
Yeah,
that dress was so pretty.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell that the choreography was just like, no, just bring the camera in close. We're gonna get some good lighting. That's all we need. But it was nice that she got some growth. She got to tell Rachel, like, don't drag. What did she say? Don't drag the anchor from your past into the future. Kind of talking about Finn.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We're not Finchel stans. So the idea of Rachel getting married to her first boyfriend at 17, 18, for us, I think is kind of like...
I mean, it doesn't even really have to do with being a stan, because, like, I was emphatically against Kurt and Blaine getting married as idiot teenagers, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't... It's kind of... I have this problem with Harry Potter, because everyone married someone that they knew at, like, 11. They never talked about it until they did. So that's kind of like that, like, your first boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we can yell about the epilogue of Harry Potter as well, because, like, fuck that noise. 19 years later, and it still hurts. Still... And maybe the seg back into Glee is that it's a good thing it ended at season 6, because then we would have to cancel Ryan Murphy over it.
Mm.
Like, if he were still writing like novellas about about Glee, I think we'd just be like, die in a fire, Murphy.
Yeah.
Blaine would be dead. Rachel would be like, I don't even know. Bert would also be dead after having been assassinated or some shit. Like, he would have done the worst things to these characters. So
it also probably works in his favor that Glee did such a, like, organic decline that by the time he even did, like, some of the shittiest storylines, most people weren't watching it anyway. Like,
that too.
Whereas, like, JK, I don't know. I mean, I guess Fantastic Beasts wasn't as successful, but still, she's using a platform that she still has a lot of attention for.
Yeah, she is. Well, and funny point, or not funny, but this episode was the highest rated, or the highest number of viewers of since the season 3 premiere, and remains the highest, or has the most number of viewers until the end of the series. So this the Michael episode is like the most number of viewers, and then it just drops again.
Do you think that's because it was Michael songs?
I think so, and I think because they like really promoted it as being the Michael Jackson tribute, because they hadn't yet overloaded it, and people love Michael Jackson music, and I think they and I can't remember. I think people must have known that Darren Criss wasn't going to be in part of the episode because of How to Succeed. So there might have been some like, how the fuck are they going to do this? And oh, it's Sebastian's back and the Warblers and blah blah blah. So I think it just had interest, and then people watched it and were like, oh, cool. Which again, Darren Criss taking over for Daniel Radcliffe, and we're back to Harry Potter.
Everything
goes back to Harry Potter.
Full circle.
It all comes back. Actually, these last 50-some episodes of Glee on the Rocks have just been the lead up to Harry Potter on the Rocks, our brand new podcast where we reread the books and discuss. No?
I would need some like hardcore on the rocks part of that. So I gotta say, I'm drinking a beer right now, and it's literally, I didn't even like plan this out because the day in general, but also the episode. It's called Sufferfest. That is the name of the beer.
Amazing. That's exactly what it should be named.
It's a stout brewed with coconut water and added coffee.
What?
So, yeah.
That's not a beer anymore.
Yeah.
If you could just send me one, that'd be great.
It's tasty.
Interesting.
And very, very fitting name.
Well, I'm drinking water because I got home just in time to do this.
Oh yeah. You hopped right on, didn't you?
We have a couple more plot lines before we totally derail ourselves about Harry Potter. One of those is NYADA, and the other is Samcedes, and I will let the two of you decide what we should talk about next.
Do we want to save the best for last?
It's also a great song by Vanessa Williams.
I don't care. I'm good for either one.
All right, let's do NYADA next then. NYADA kind of ties into the Klaine stuff.
So, best father of the decade, Congressman Bert Hummel, takes time off of his, I guess, not very busy schedule to hand deliver a letter from NYADA, where Kurt finds out that he is a finalist to get into NYADA, which I guess is a thing that we didn't know about. I guess we kind of just assumed that they would be either accepted or rejected, but he is a finalist. And frankly, the best part about this scene is that Bert is the one who wants to tell Blaine.
Yeah, that was actually really cute.
Fucking adorable. Can't handle it. Rachel, however, hasn't gotten her letter. Thoughts? Feelings?
Let me shed a few tears for Rachel.
Cry me a river. They never did Justin Timberlake. Anyway, sorry.
Don't put that into the universe.
He wasn't a solo artist then, I don't think. Was he? Shit. Scratch that. I'll think about that later. Can't do it now. So poor Rachel has not received her letter, and this is really causing her some anxiety, which is tied up in the fact that Finn proposed to her, and she did not give him an answer yet. Because Finn doesn't seem to have a direction that he's going in life, and Rachel's direction, see, because they're the new directions, Rachel doesn't know if her life path is going to work out for her, which I guess as a high school student probably seems like, that feels like a lot. Given the state of the world today, it's a little hard to be like, oh, your boyfriend and your college application, like, the West Coast is burning, Rachel. We can't go outside. We're checking air quality reports. Like, get over it. You can go to a different school. Which they didn't apply to other schools, did they?
I don't think so.
No.
That's a bad move. You want to have backups.
You know, when I think about it, I only applied to one school too. And I would have been devastated if any of my friends got their letters before me back in high school. But I got in eventually.
I mean,
so.
To be fair, I also only applied to one college, but like it was a local state. It was like a local, like, of course I was going to get in. Wasn't too worried about it. I think I did early admission too. Just like Quinn. But if you're applying to a highly competitive performing arts college in New York City, you should probably, especially if like your life goal seems to ride on this one performing arts college that is, I think, supposed to be an analogy to Juilliard, as if no famous people haven't come from Juilliard. So I don't know, but Rachel does decide that she can do anything if she has Finn, and tells him she'll marry him.
I mean, that's such a like high school mentality that I almost feel like it's in character, but also stupid.
It's definitely that. It's very in character for a high schooler, but also just the stupidest thing you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I was not an overly emotional teenager, so like even at 17, I would have been like, whatever. Life is terrible. Let's move on. So I'm sure there are teenagers out there who like can really, really feel this, and it's just not me.
It wasn't me either, but I've taught some just like this. And they were all about their boyfriend. They're going to get married. They're going to go do this and that. And I'm like, you know what?
How's that working out for them?
It didn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
One girl took out a full yearbook page and wrote this adorable letter. And they broke up a week before school ended. And like, that was the week yearbooks came out. And everyone was just looking at their yearbook like, we kind of told you this was going to happen.
Yeah. That's but like getting magic tattoos. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as that happens, you know someone's getting a divorce.
Yeah.
It's just they feel so much.
So much.
So much feeling, so little common sense.
So little frontal lobe.
Yeah.
How do we feel about, for once, Kurt potentially getting the one-up on Rachel? Briefly.
He deserved it.
He does. Yeah, he deserved it. And like, not to spoil future episodes in case anyone actually is listening along the first time, but like, Kurt's moments in this episode and Bert's speech just made me really, really angry for things that come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, this was so good, but like a little, I don't know, premature, I guess.
Kurt deserved better.
Yeah.
Rachel didn't deserve better.
No, and you know, if you think about it, if you go back to like the pilot episode, and you know the way we said like outrightly that we liked Rachel in the first half season where she was gung-ho and it was all about her career and it was all about her dreams and her goals. If she were still that character who hadn't like pushed that aside for a boyfriend and just had kind of remained not a bitchier character, but a more self-centered character without being selfish, then it could have made more sense that, yeah, you have worked hard enough to get into NYADA. Good for you. You put aside friendships and you put aside other people's needs, but you were doing it for you and you got there. But she just got so whiny. Like, it's not season 1 Rachel would have gotten into NYADA.
Yeah.
if Rachel had remained season 1 Rachel, I didn't necessarily like Rachel all of season 1, but like the beginning part where she was just very focused on she was getting to Broadway, that would have been really relatable because that's the only thing I ever focused on. I was going to become a teacher, no matter what, no matter what got in the way. It was like very focused on being a teacher. A little, very self-centered, maybe a little selfish, but not putting it aside for anyone else. That's very relatable. Yeah.
I mean, like, being self-centered can be okay as long as you're not hurting other people, right? Like,
I mean, when it comes to your future and career, you probably should be centered on yourself above other people.
And, like, maybe not your boyfriend and his football career.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll have to see what happens with Rachel and NYADA next week on Glee. Well, I was going to try to make a segue, but I'm not good at them. So we're just going to say Sam and Mercedes. And that's really why we're here. Well, one, Sam, they get a duet.
They do.
They get a nice duet. He manages. So Sam, if for some reason you're listening to this episode and you haven't watched the other episodes or listened to our other episodes, Sam is still in love with Mercedes, and Mercedes is currently dating a football player named Shane. Shane. I almost called him Sean, and that was wrong. Named Shane. Shane seems perfectly fine. He's a decent fellow, but Mercedes obviously still has some tingles for Sam, and he's trying to get her back. So he invites her to the auditorium for a little duet. Does it work?
Yes, it works.
Yeah, it does.
Because they end up kissing.
They do. I thought it was really sweet.
I mean, it was like, and there's something about how Cord plays Sam, just being like unashamedly infatuated with her. That's just really sweet.
Because, like, in another character, I think we can agree that we might be like, hey, she's saying no, back the fuck off. And part of that is there. Part of that is like, hey, Sam, hey buddy, like, she said no. Knock it off. Like, even if she's conflicted. But in the context of the show, it's cute.
It's cute. He's very dopey-eyed. But if it was like Puck, it would be like,
yeah. Oh, that would be a big difference.
And you're right, it is the way he plays Sam. There's like a kindness and an innocence that is not soups creepy. But again, any boys listening to this, if someone tells you no, back the fuck off. Especially if they have another boyfriend or girlfriend.
But it also sort of makes a difference that this is not something we've seen Sam do before. And with how incestuous the relationships on the show are, there aren't many characters that like don't repeat the same behaviors with different significant others. Like if it were Puck, like we've seen a history of Puck being like shitty and kind of ignoring consent because the whole plotline of season 1 was him getting Quinn drunk and then pregnant.
That worked out well for everyone.
Yeah.
So
that got another teacher fired. Like, consequences, kids.
Yeah, they've never had a duet before.
No, I don't think so. Mercedes doesn't get. I mean, really, her love interests are minimal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Though that does leave her time to work on herself.
It was what, Kurt and then Sam? I think that's it.
Her crush on Kurt.
Yeah, technically Shane, but like we don't even get to.
You're right.
We don't like get to know him, which, as we said in the last episode, like is probably why he remains a good boyfriend because they don't show him enough to ruin him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he's not Sam, so.
Yeah, he's not Sam.
He carries her books, and he shows up. Like that's all we know from Shane, and I think that's all we need from Shane.
He also tells her that she's better than Rachel and to go for her dreams. I'm not sure if we're past that episode or not. I think we are.
We are, yeah. That was
yeah. Yeah. So he did tell her that. Is this the episode where Sam sent in that video of Mercedes singing?
No, that's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Spoiled it for anyone.
Spoilers for me. No, that's coming. And it does,
Okay.
I mean, it's a good point, though, because he definitely appreciates her and her talent and he doesn't see, at least at this point, he doesn't seem to be like, you're gonna leave me behind. He's like, go follow your dreams.
Yeah.
And that's all we want from the males is some fucking support.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad about how they ruined Sam in future seasons.
A constant refrain for any beloved Glee characters.
You have to you have to pick the time frame for your character and be like, this is whom the character is, and just kind of ignore like, well, what about what they did in season 6? There is no season 6.
There is no, well, I heard season 6 actually has a lot of Samcedes that I didn't know about.
Shit.
I follow an Ambre Riley. Yeah, I follow an Ambre Riley blog, and they were just posting, "Oh, here are cute Samcedes moments," and I'm like, I've never seen this before. And then I was like, oh wait, you've never watched season 6 either.
Okay, well, we're definitely gonna have you, and probably before that too, but definitely back on season 6 for some reactions to Samcedes moments.
They're cute.
I mean, that also gives us something to look forward to in season 6, because like I haven't seen it, and all I could think about, I was like, I'm not gonna watch this fucking show. I just can't deal with it, and like blah blah blah. So I didn't watch it, and I'm feeling like maybe it's not so bad.
No.
I mean, parts of it are still going to be really bad, but
parts of it are real fucking terrible. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
New characters. Yeah.
It's like the second round of new characters too, because we get the newbies coming up here, and then there are new newbies.
Unnecessary.
Nudebies.
No, thank you.
Nudebies.
Nudebies in the new directions.
Ugh. Can't. I mean, I was gonna say coming up, they do get a little nude a couple times, and that gets weird, right? There's like the Men of McKinley Christmas calendar.
Yes.
I was like, wait, I didn't hallucinate this.
I was gonna say they didn't do, but you're right. There is that calendar shoot. Artie doesn't want to do it.
And then there's also they do Katy Perry's Roar, and they're dressed up like Tarzan and Jane.
The calendar thing continued to haunt me after Glee was over, because for one of the Christmases, Dan Howell, who I don't know, I've talked about Dan and Phil on here before.
You have.
He changed his user picture to a photoshopped image of him shirtless, like holding a candy cane with red pants. He literally used Darren's body.
Oh God.
He photoshopped his face onto that calendar picture. Like, that's not a mashup I needed.
I think those are all the key storylines. I mean, such as they are. This is really about. They did okay, I think, incorporating the music into the storylines as well. I mean, I can't talk about Kurt singing a song about a dead rat to Blaine, his beloved. I can't do it. But Blaine's one-eyed hard eyes are cute.
What's really annoying is, like, I did know the context of that song. I found myself liking the song until I remembered what it was about, and then I was like, I like it just, like, to listen to, but I can't think about it too hard.
I just feel like there were probably other Michael Jackson love songs they could have used.
Is that even a love song? Like,
no, it's not. It's about a rat.
Yeah.
It's about a rat. A mouse. No, it's a rat. It's a rat.
It's a rat.
Can't do it. And just playing that back over, like he really just sat there holding his hand, singing about a rat after his boyfriend has to have surgery. And you know what? I know this probably won't matter to you, but they didn't do The Way You Make Me Feel in this episode, and I feel like that was a tragedy. And they didn't sing "You Are Not Alone." That would have worked too for Kurt to Blaine. Like, he's not alone. Yeah. And even they're not far apart, but Blaine's stuck at home and Kurt's off at school. There were options other than Ben, is what I'm saying. Are there any little tidbits that you guys want to talk about? Any faves? Anything that this was missing?
We forgot to talk about Artie and Mike Chang doing Scream.
Oh, shit. We did. Which, shame on me, because we're always like, how come Artie never gets anything? And here, the Kevin McScale, he has like some agency and he has a song. Fuck me, I fucked up. A speech? He got out of his wheelchair? It's a little weird, honestly. They really took that fantasy sequence all the way to the top. But it was nice to hear someone like, no, Mr. Shu, your ideas are stupid. Because they are. And yeah, it was great to see two of these dancers really getting to dance.
Because Lord knows Kevin never got to dance.
He never got to dance.
For all the fact that he was actually in a boy band before this. He did not use that.
And it was a good song. I thought it was a good song choice for his voice. I thought it sounded really good.
Yeah.
Not as good as Smooth Criminal, but pretty good.
No. That was one of the other things I was going to say. Smooth Criminal is my favorite duet on Glee, like hands out.
Ooh.
Like it beats out any Klaine ones.
Wow.
For like, I mean, I've re-listened to that one. I don't know. I tend to rewatch the Klaine ones, not just listen.
Okay. But, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's just it's like unique for Glee, right? Like, it's different. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was exciting. They're hot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what else is there?
Never wanted a gay male character and a lesbian to get together more than in that scene.
You're correct. I think our social media for this episode is going to have to heavily feature that song.
I mean, it's going to be Samcedes and then Smooth Criminal.
Yep. And maybe one eye patch.
Yeah.
So I guess that covers favorite song pretty easily.
Yeah.
Was there a favorite line?
All I can think of is Santana keep mentioning her underboob.
Yeah, that one is good. Bert's speech just made me love Bert, though.
Mm-hmm. I think I taped it to my underboob. But like the second time she says it, where she's trying to you guys, I did this.
And then that like line about if Kurt taped it to his junk, they'd sing a song about it.
She's not wrong.
She's not.
I think we need to make it. Maybe this is just for me, but like make it into an audio clip that we use. But Blaine's yay when he's getting the champagne glasses out of his bedside table to toast Kurt. It's almost like Darren forgot that he was acting in that moment and was just like, yay. It's like this kind of blasé, sad little. It was weird, but I liked it. Mm-hmm. But still the underboob.
Yeah.
Where is our Kevin McScale scale? Kevin McScale.
Pretty high. Pretty yeah. I mean, a song, a dance, and a speech.
Is that like a 5?
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a full plot.
Sure. So like 4.5.
Yeah, like 4.5.
Okay. Our Klainedex, I mean, he did take a slushie to the face for his boyfriend.
That is pretty sweet. And there was a Dead Rat duet. Or not duet, but serenade.
Dead Rat Serenade. Is that like a 6? Minimal screen time, but
But the presence was there.
Yes. But the heart eyes were strong.
The heart eye.
The heart eye. Yes. What's our coulda, shoulda, woulda this week?
I don't know. I'm gonna say, are there any like Is there anything between Sam and Mercedes you would have liked to have also seen in the episode since they were getting focus?
I mean, no, because what they did really well. And Glee would have messed up anything else, like them discussing the relationship before.
That is a valid.
What they gave me was perfect. It was enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like you don't want to ask for too much.
Yeah.
I get that. that. So, do you have anything, Mandy, that you were wanting, were lacking?
No, most of my like gripes with the episode come with like how things play out later on.
Mm-hmm.
So
that this sets up some things.
Yeah, in the context of just this episode, no, I'm actually pretty okay with it.
Pretty solid. All right. Yeah. I just wanted, there were just some other like favorite MJ songs that I would have preferred than the ones that they did, but other than that, it's like I would have just picked them so I could listen to them.
So what's like one song and who would you have wanted to sing it?
I mean, I really like The Way You Make Me Feel. I think it's fun. It's upbeat. It's like sexy without, I mean, the music video is a little creepy because he's stalking a woman through a dark alley. So like questionable. Now that I'm picturing it and what it, like, like Sebastian stalking Blaine in a mini dress through a dark alley. I'm gonna watch
that too.
Yeah.
Another good song would have been Butterflies. I don't know who would have sung it to who, but it would have been really cute. And I'm kind of picturing Santana and Brittany singing it. Because you give me butterflies. It's just so cute.
That would have been cute with their little like pinky hold thing. I think Artie would have done a good You Rock My World. Some like newer Michael Jackson. I wonder, I don't know that there's any who is a good voice for it. I was thinking like Dirty Diana would have been kind of cool.
Too.
But I don't know who's got like the rockiest voice for that. Maybe Artie too.
I'd be afraid they'd give something rock-ish like to Puck.
Yeah.
I don't actually know the song you're talking about, so maybe not.
Jam is pretty fun. That could have been a fun group number.
Would have been a fun group number too. Is that? Yeah, that's an
yeah. And they could have gotten some like cool choreography to some of these.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good. What was the one from Free Willy? Will You Be There?
Yeah,
could have done that. I just had like an orca in the background jumping.
I actually am gonna say I would have liked to have seen Warblers only number in this episode.
Ooh, yeah. What would the Warblers have done? They could have done. I mean, they could do anything. They're so good.
I think Remember the Times would have been really good for the Warblers.
Oh, yeah. In the costumes. Yeah. Some slightly appropriative Egyptian costumes there.
I mean, the re-edition of Bills, Bills, Bills was just so good. If they did that with Remember the Time, it would have been amazing. And did it to Kurt and Blaine? Blaine? Like, remember the time you're with the Warblers? I would have loved that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything that's like getting Kurt and Blaine back to the Warblers, I am all about. That's my spinoff. I don't need New York. My spinoff is the Warblers.
Does it count as a spinoff if you never mentally left it?
No.
Because I'm pretty sure you,
I do think about it constantly.
Yeah.
So I think I do just kind of play the show like that in my mind. I just kind of have like a running, and now Blaine is headmaster at Waldorf. Kurt's the French teacher. It's 2021 and President Clinton. Like,
now you're just hurting me again.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I just had like a gut reaction. Okay. Well, I think we never can say goodbye to Glee. B is usually the one who does like the punny sign off. So I don't know that I have a good one. If anyone wants to check out, we have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Patreon and a Tumblr. If there's a social media account, we're probably there, including Reddit.
And TikTok.
We made a TikTok. We're frankly just gonna make B do it.
Yeah.
And leave it to her, and us olds will figure out how it works. I'm not going to use it because I refuse. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you, Ambre, for joining us again. Hopefully we can, of course, hopefully we will grab you back for more Samcedes or other episodes that you are like passionate about. Everyone should mask up, continue to wash your hands, and that's what you missed on Glee.